Welcome back to Spicy Tales Podcast with Kim and Stacy.
Hello.
What up?
Not much.
So I'm just gonna start right away with my spicy tale. First of all, I don't remember part of it because it was a very long time ago, but it was a very embarrassing moment for me. And one of the guys that this happened at his house, he follows me on Instagram. So you better not comment about none of this shit. Just let it pass. Pretend like you don't even see that shit. Just keep it rolling. Keep it scrolling. Just like the video and keep it going, okay? So basically, in like 2009, I was 19 and I was hanging out with some very questionable guys. Very questionable.
Of
Like,
course.
they're from Montreal. They're all hood guys. Like, they're hilarious. And they were a great time, but they were a mess. Okay? All of them were a mess.
That's the best time when you're
First of all, they
19.
lived in like this one bedroom, like bachelor-ish kind of, but it had like a downstairs. Anyways, I'm pretty sure there was like a one futon upstairs and then a big ass like mattress on the floor
Of
downstairs.
course.
You know,
I was gonna say matches on the floor.
y'all already know the vibes. You know the era. Bring yourselves
And
back.
how old were they?
I was 19, so they were probably like 23-ish. Like they weren't that much older than me. Like they weren't creeps. Like they were
Right.
super nice. So one of my girlfriends, actually the same one that slept with that dude. Go back a few episodes if you remember. If you remember, you remember. Jamal, he ain't shit. Anyways. But yeah, so anyways, we're chilling at their house and like they have like a bathroom that has a sink and a toilet, and then they have another like bathroom kind of like, but it's just the shower, like the like bathtub or whatever. So someone was in the shower and like I needed to use the bathroom, but the toilet was clogged. So I'm like, damn, I gotta pee. I'm not gonna pee outside. I don't remember exactly why I thought this was a good idea. But I try to like get onto the sink to pee in the sink. The whole fucking sink fell. No, Stacey, you don't understand. The whole thing, like it was just like, and I didn't even think like now that I'm like older and shit, I'm like, if it had a counter, it would have made sense.
But it was just.
But it was just the sink.
Yeah, that can't take much weight.
Yeah, so that broke. And it made a huge
Of course it is,
sound.
like porcelain, like heavy ass porcelain.
Luckily, the pipe didn't break.
Okay, so it didn't like
Thank
come out
God.
the wall. It was just
No,
the sink that.
like the
cracked and
sink fell out, but like the like pipe was still connected because
Okay.
like as it broke, I wasn't on it yet, so
Right.
like it felt like kind of in my hand, so I like kept it up, thank God, and I'm just standing there holding it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I get out of? And thank God they were all upstairs, so like. I'm like, what do I do? Like I can't, if I put the sink down, the pipe could break and then there's water everywhere. If I keep holding it, I can't open the door to call for help. Like it was just like so bad. So eventually I got the door open by like holding it with like my body and my legs and then like leaning over to grab the door. And then one of the guys came in, he's like, what the fuck did you do? I was like,
oh my God.
oh, like, and I obviously didn't want to tell him.
Right.
So I was just like, I was trying to reach, like, cause me, I'm short. So I was like, oh, I was trying to reach at the top of the like medicine cabinet, blah, blah, blah. So I like leaned on it. He's gonna watch this and be like, this fucking lying ass bitch broke my damn sink. And she lied.
So what happened?
I think he called his landlord. Like we ended up leaving that day. So like,
Okay, when it broke, did it fall
Come
into
out- it-
pieces, or it was still a whole?
it was
entire
still a
thing?
hole. It just was
Okay.
no longer attached to the wall.
Okay.
And it was just hanging like by the pipe, like just like.
Good thing you were holding it, and good thing you weren't like on top.
Oh my God. And it fell while I was on it. Yeah, that shit would have broken in a million pieces. It was so embarrassing, bro. Oh my God. And then we left that day, but then he called his landlord and I guess they fixed it. By the time we came back, it was already being fixed. So
And you just had to pee, and it was you
I
couldn't
got
go to
so-
the toilet because
no,
it was
the toilet was clogged, yeah.
I might have just peed in the clogged toilet, but I've been in a fraternity party before where like the line was so long that 3 people went into the washroom. It was me, my boyfriend at the time, and his friend. Tell me why I'm on the toilet bowl peeing, one of the guys peeing in the sink, and one of the guys peeing in the toilet. In the tub.
Bro, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like, so that we could just like all 3 just pee quickly. Like there was a huge lineup. Obviously we're all full of liquor, so we broke the seal a long time ago. We need to pee so badly.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I've peed outside at times like that because I just was like, I can't.
There are
wait.
times where you literally can't. There was one time with my ex, we were going to a mud run, and
Ugh, you're one of those.
I had the time of my life. I think it was 13K, and it felt like nothing because there are like obstacles in between. So you stop and you do the monkey
As much as
bars
I would
or climb
hate
up a
it, the
wall.
competitive side of me, I know
It's
I would
so
fucking. I
much
would
fun.
do it. I would
It's
like literally do it with every morsel of my body.
It's so much fun. There's music. It's dirty though. Like obviously
Yeah,
you
no
get mud all
shit.
over the place. People get hurt. And actually, I was watching The Real Housewives of Orange County because I'm rewatching the whole entire franchise, and they did a mud run, and one of the girls sprained her ankle, and one of the guys broke his finger. Cause it's just that crazy. Like you land in mud, and all of a sudden you land on something wrong and whatever. So yeah, I remember when I did the mud run, like there were people that were like assisted off because they hurt themselves. But
That
it
would
really
suck
it
so
felt like
badly.
less time running than when I did a 5K. Listen, I dated a white guy, and he was the white guy that you see those memes. It's like
Doing a
when you
turkey
when
trot.
you when you marry someone and their family likes to go on like a 5K run on Christmas Day and shit like that, like that was his family. They
God.
love to do. His dad went to Florida to run a marathon. They would do the beer run. I did a 5K in Toronto with them, and like I'm happy they did because I did the mud run and I did a 5K. But like the mud run felt so much shorter than the 5K that I just ran
Because of the
straight
obstacles?
through. Oh my God, I can't believe I ran a 5K. I mean, it's a huge accomplishment, and people that do half marathons and marathons are crazy.
Yeah,
Kudos
that's
to you,
wild.
because
I
that,
could never.
like, I could never reach that runner's high that they're talking about. I never reached that. I would always be hurting. I would always be like, I need to stop right now. Like, something is horribly wrong.
I like to play sports, but running ain't one of them.
Running
Like,
is just not my thing.
First of all, I have asthma. I got weak ass lungs. Like, I
Right.
can't be out here freaking running a marathon. No, ma'am. Immediately. no.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't
You
even. I wouldn't
and
even
our
try.
brother, like, me and mom were talking about that because she was saying how she's like, yeah, my kids, because my mom got hurt, and like there's a whole thing going on about her being hurt, and she's just like, yeah, like our culture is that we don't go to the hospital unless we're literally dying. And I'm like, Mom, that's not a good thing. I hope you know that, right? And she's just like, yeah, like even with my kids, unless they were literally dying, I'm like, Mom, please. Like this is a bad look. And she's just like, she's talking about you. And she's just like, yeah, like Kim didn't really have that many issues until like, except for the asthma thing. And then she's like, but our brother,
oh yeah, he
was raised in the hospital.
Yeah, like he would have.
This guy had seizures.
He got whooping cough.
Yeah, like,
and that shit was fucking scary.
Oh
like,
my God!
And it got to a point that every time he would have a fever, he would have a seizure, and we didn't understand what the fuck. And there was nothing wrong with him.
I swear to God, this happens a lot with boys specifically. Like this even happened with my brother's nephew. Like the seizures, it's so
your
scary.
boyfriend's nephew.
Yeah.
Oh, because you said your brother's nephew.
Sorry, my boyfriend's nephew. Like, I don't know. This is a common thing with these kids having these seizures. And, like, it's the scariest thing ever. Yeah. And, like, if you have too many, like, that's permanent brain damage.
Yeah, it could fuck up your brain.
Yeah.
Like, thank God our brother's
scary. Yeah,
good,
my brother's
but, like...
fine. I mean, is he, though? But, like, anyways.
Yeah, he's gonna watch this and be like...
Does he watch this? He does not watch
I mean, I'm sure he sees the clips. He's probably like...
yeah, maybe he sees the clips, but, like, our brother's too cool for us, okay? He doesn't watch our shit.
I try to talk to him sometimes, and he's just like... He, like, looks at me like, are you gonna get out? Like, why are you still in here? And I'm like, that used to be
my
me.
brother is the biggest introvert. Like, my sister's... earlier on she was more of an extrovert. Now she's more of a homebody, but she's a social butterfly still though. Yeah. She can do it if she has to. Me, I'm in between, like grew up shy, but like came out of my shell and whatever. I can force it, whatever. But low-key want to be in my room. But my brother, it's not Loki. This guy we could have a full-blown party happening and he's upstairs the whole time. Some people might not even know that he's in the house.
Literally, you'll just see him come downstairs to get a plate and then he's out.
And I'm like, at least be a freaking gamer. Like, at this point, I need to set him up with a Twitch account or something, because
you do.
The fact that he's going on like this and not getting paid is just. But the fact that I need to set it up, like,
first of all, our brother's 10 years younger than us, and we've done everything for him. So, like,
we messed him up. We actually did.
We fucked up, but, like, whatever.
And, like, he's just the type of person that, like, is just no initiation.
That's not true. He had a job interview that he planned himself, and I didn't even know anything about it.
Okay, once a year, he'll have like this boost of motivation.
I like to give him a little kudos, but
you know what? I can't be that much of a hater, but like when I think of, I was talking to Mom about this, and I'm like, yeah, I had a job so late. I had my first job when I was 19, and she's like, I'm the reason why you didn't have a job before that. And I'm like, I know, because I was babysitting my freaking younger brother, because he's 8 years younger than me. So I'm 19.
First of all, our mom, like most people, when they have kids, they go and get their social insurance numbers and all that shit. Our mom didn't do none of that shit.
She did not set us up like that. We had to do it ourselves.
Yeah, when I turned 16, I wanted to get a job because I was sick and tired of being poor. So I went and got my own. I had to take the bus, go get my freaking social insurance number.
Tell our brother to renew his passport or anything. Like, it would be the biggest challenge for him.
First of all, when he got his social insurance number, I brought him. I filled out the paper shit. I brought him. I talked to the lady, like all of it. My brother is a mess. He's just out here wild.
Honestly, sometimes I think about being a parent and how, like, you need to book, like, remember when there was a time where you're growing up and it's like, okay, your mom can't keep booking your freaking doctor's appointment and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to grow the hell up. And also, just growing up,
Honestly, that was me up until I was probably 24. Mom used to book my dentist appointment.
Yeah. And I love that because it's like, hey, your responsibilities are getting less and less, Mom. Please just book my dentist appointment.
Yeah.
Like, just please.
Literally.
But also, we had to talk to the freaking Rogers customer service man since we were like 12. So we've been talking to these people.
Yeah, Mom is like the worst for that shit.
I think we talked about this before, but still, like, I just can't.
Just the other day I had a cleaning and she's like, did you book me a dentist appointment? I was like,
yeah, now we need to book her stuff. Now
I was like, no, like, you don't even have a file there. You have to at least go and start the file. Like, what the hell? Like,
I had to set up all her like favorites tabs and stuff, like the technology. Well, actually, you know what? Mom was never good with technology. So
the best is when she's like, do you know what my password is? I'm like, why would I know what your password is? Like, what are you talking about?
We need to start like getting her to write stuff
I literally
down.
took her phone the other day and shared her location. I was like, I need to know where you are at all times.
Yeah, you need to do that for me too.
Because she can't be out here playing games.
The only person I share my location with is you. I think now I share my location with my boyfriend, but he doesn't share his with me.
Every girl on here is like, what? What do you mean? Where he at? He's in her house.
He's
That's where he is.
Me.
Like,
he's right beside me.
Like, every girl out there is like, what do you mean he doesn't share his location with you? Like, man.
What was your first job?
Winners.
Which one? Bayshore?
Bell's Corners.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there with Alex.
God. The one near the LCBO and the... Yeah, Bell's Corners.
I don't know if there's an LCBO. I've never seen the LCBO.
Oh, well, it's actually, maybe it was a new LCBO, but there's a Starbucks.
Yes, there is a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I think there's a Mark's warehouse there now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first
Actually,
job.
Our first job
was the penny savers.
That
our mom hustled us to do, and we never saw a fucking dime of that money.
2 weekends ago, I went to a comedy show, and this guy was talking about how are we going to explain to our children that there was a newsletter that they distributed every single day, and how did they distribute this? Well, parents would get their children to wake up like at 5 in the morning.
Yep. Our route was in the afternoon though.
To bring do your little route.
Yep.
Get paid like $5 a year.
No, it was like $200 every other week.
To never see that money ever
Never
in your
see
life.
that money. You were basically just working for free. Our mom was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get paid $200." I never saw a dime, not a
Even
dime.
like growing up, when we would get money in our cards, any birthday money, any
Grandma
of that.
would always hand us money like this.
That's true. Give
Like, and then my mom, even when she didn't see her do it, she would come to you afterwards and be like, "I know grandma gave you money. Let me hold it for you." And then I'm like, "I'm never gonna see that fucking money again." She's like, "No, if you want to spend it, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay," like a fool, give her the money. And then I'm like, "Hey mom, can I get $10 of that money that grandma gave me?" And she's like, "What do you think about that cereal you like? You like those snacks, don't you?" You're like, "What? What?"
You know, if mom had just put all of that money into like an ETF or something that
at the time she didn't have any money,
interest.
she needed it.
See, that's just, and the worst thing is, it's like, this is how broke people stay broke, because, and it sucks because that's just how the system is, that you have to obviously.
So you're really just gonna call mom broke on air like that?
I mean, we grew up broke. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? It's the truth. She definitely provided for us.
It's like those rappers who like sing about how they rap about how their mama ain't never done nothing for them. They used to sleep on mattresses on the floor and everything, and then their parents are like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
My mom is the hardest working person I know.
Facts.
First of all, she had 3 kids by the time she was 28.
Facts.
She finished her undergrad, became a nurse. She moved from Montreal, where all of her family was, because her sister was a terrible influence.
My dad was a terrible influence.
Honestly, all of Montreal is bad.
Yep.
So she came here to make a life for her own self.
By herself, solo dolo.
Came here from Haiti when she was 10 years old, discriminated against from black people and white people, and somehow still made it. I'm sure she was probably one of the first people to get an undergrad in our family.
Yeah, honestly, probably she was.
She's amazing. Like I said, she's the strongest person I know.
Oh, she's gonna cry when she listens.
I'm sure she is, because she's literally the strongest person I know. Sometimes because I just lived this life, it's not that I forget, but I just don't tell her enough. But like, anytime my friends or even my boyfriend, he was just like talking to me about my mom, because I had just gotten off the phone with my dad, and like he was hyping my mom up, and then my boyfriend was talking about my mom and like all the accomplishments she made, and I'm just like, yeah, that's my mom. Like, she's out here.
It's funny. A lot of people say that to us.
But that's why also you create these G Unit soldiers as girls, because it's like,
yeah,
you're so tough. Obviously, you're gonna instill in us that like you can make it on your own. Like, you don't need a man to do anything for. That's how I grew up. That's the mindset that I had. Like, I don't need a man for anything. I can do anything on my own. Like, no one could take things from you because you did it on your own. Like, she was all about education, which, anyways.
I mean, you better than me, because
I did waste her $7,000 a year for 5 years, but I got that piece of paper. What am I using it for this podcast?
You could use
but
it.
Like, I know, Mom. I know she wants me to do my master's so bad, but like,
she wants me to go back. We've been talking about it.
Master's programs are very hard to get into. Like, I feel like the only one that I could get into is one that's like in the Caribbeans, okay?
The scam ones?
The ones that you pay to get in. Like, that's just it. That's all they care about.
Like the one that they did in Florida that was scamming all those nurses that got all these degrees.
That's what I need to do. I need to get myself a nursing degree and just... But I would never be a nurse. And that's one thing my mom always told us. I do not want you to be a nurse.
Yeah.
So I never, ever wanted to be a nurse.
Which is like the opposite of what all Haitian parents tell their kids.
I mean,
the only like acceptable fucking careers as a Haitian person is
a doctor, lawyer,
nurse, engineer, lawyer. That's it.
Yeah.
Anything else that you do, they look at you like, what the fuck? Like, even I'm sure mom like wonders what the heck my job is sometimes, or yours. Like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
Yo, my job, like, I just gotta say, I am very happy that I get paid what I do for the job that I do.
I'm gonna go ahead and say same.
But back to the broke thing, and it's not towards mom, because this is what happens when you don't know financial literacy, and it's like so important. Like people that grow up just learning these principles, these we didn't have money to even invest because my mom needed it to pay bills and shit like that. But if you are in a better space than having 3 kids by the age of 28 and doing it all on your own, and you have you literally have your child tomorrow, like any birthday money, anything, just put it in some sort of index fund and just let it build compound interest for like 30 years or even 18 years.
I'm a very big supporter of parents who start charging their kids rent after 18 and then put it aside for them for when they move out to give to them as to help them pay for a deposit
and to learn
or do whatever. I'm a huge fan of that. I think that's a great idea. I think all parents should do that.
And I was so against that before, but if they are putting it in an account where they're gonna give it back to them, I'm
fair.
Definitely
Most Caribbean people you stay with your parents till you get married. Like that's usually
my mom did not want me to leave even when I moved out when I was like 29.
My mom never wanted me to leave, and I was like, I'm out.
She wants me to come back now.
There's no room for you.
I know.
You can't come back. There's no space. You can't live with us. There's no space for you. But I would love it because the rent would be like $5, but bro, you can't live with us.
I remember knowing that, the crazy part is, so when I was dating my white boyfriend who has a 2-parent household, they have a house, his dad had a government job, full pension, his mom, she was private sector though, and she kind of, anyways. But they would they made him they set up a school fund for him, but they made him pay for half of his schooling, which was so crazy to me, who was in a single parent household. My mom paid for my education, and he came from a 2-parent household, and I knew his parents had the money, but they were instilling him principles like work for what you
want.
Things don't come for free. You need to work for these things, and they were instilling hard work into this man, and I was just like, oh wow, I don't even have to pay for school. That's crazy that you have to pay for school. But it honestly, I'm sure it was a huge accomplishment, the fact that he paid for half his schooling. Shit, I couldn't even imagine people, and I knew people that worked full-time, that went to school full-time, which I did part-time work, to pay for their school. They paid for all of their schooling. And when you do that shit, I think I would have failed less classes if I had to pay for my own school, because that is your money.
Mom is also such a huge advocate for education that she is offered to pay for school for not just us, but
some
of our friends.
She doesn't play about
school. My best friend wants to go back to school, and my mom's I would help her. I'd help her pay for stuff if she needed it. And I'm just bruh.
First of all, education should be free.
It should.
So all capitalism needs to stop, but obviously that's just how the world runs.
Facts.
But I don't know why it costs that much money, and the price keeps going up. The education becomes the same or less. When I find out what people are learning in school these days, I'm like, what? You guys, I feel early on in school, I couldn't use a calculator. In elementary school,
we weren't allowed to use
that freaking multiple the times table.
The chart that you have to
the
do.
Chart, and you were
to do it within 40 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was what and I was proud to do it without a calculator. Obviously now they don't have to do a calculator. Apparently nowadays when they do division, they don't even do
the long division.
They don't do long division anymore. I'm like, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, though, do we really need to learn it? Because we have calculators.
You mean bed mass?
No, not bed mass, but long division.
I mean, how often in your life have you used it?
I have used it sometimes. You know those bot questions?
Yeah, I've used
it. And people are just oh, the answer is 5. No, the answer is 4. And it's if you did the bed mass right, you get the right answer.
In the States it's called ped mass?
Yeah, I think it's parentheses. Yeah.
Is that what they call brackets?
Yeah.
Ew, gross. Americans are weird. Also the fact that y'all is still not using the metric system is fucking weird.
It's so annoying. It's
Like
so annoying.
Fahrenheit, get the fuck out of here. Why
Fahrenheit
is it 116
and what is
degrees?
it? What else do they use?
Quarter miles. In a quarter mile, turn left. The
They
fuck's a
use
quarter
miles.
mile?
They use miles. That's right.
Like a quarter mile? You can't say 150 meters? Like what the heck's wrong with you? A quarter mile.
Do they use feet though, right?
Yeah, feet.
Okay, good. Because I use feet. I hate whenever I Google someone's height and it says 1.65 meters, and I'm like,
yeah, 100 and whatever centimeters. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
can you please stop? I can barely do simple addition. Literally, like all that shit that they taught us. You know what? Maybe that's why they don't. Like, we literally had to learn cursive writing. Do people learn cursive
Bro,
writing?
speaking of cursive writing, when I first came to Ottawa, I learned cursive writing in kindergarten in Montreal because my mom sent us to private school because Montreal be
How
wilding out.
else are you gonna forge your parents' signature?
I'm fucking dying. But I moved to Ottawa, and in second grade, I was already writing in cursive, and the teacher told mom to tell me to stop using, like they wanted me to stop writing in cursive because the other kids weren't there yet. And mom was like, "That's not my problem. If she knows how to use."
Want my gifted child to dumb down?
Pretty much, they wanted me to dumb it down for these pavos out here in these streets. And my mom's like, no, she knows how to do it. She's going to do it. So my whole life, I've always written in cursive until...
Mom really didn't... Like, my mom, I feel like until later on, didn't even believe in, like, learning disabilities. Like,
oh my God.
When I tell you, she just threw us into English school and we didn't speak a word of English.
When we came to Ottawa, we didn't speak a word of English. And they were like, do you want to put the kids in English as a second language? Because, like, ESL was, like, a program to help the kids who don't speak English learn English. And she was like, no. They'll figure it out. They're fine.
They're my kids.
Literally, she's like, they're my kids. They learn quick. I mean, she wasn't wrong.
She was not wrong, but like, thank God we came at the time we did. Because I know a lot of immigrant kids that got held. So many people I know were held back a year because of
Cynthia
shit like
was
that.
held back for that.
Or like my friend Diana, she got held back because one year she was out the country for a while, and when she came back, she was behind. Like, it's hard to catch up.
I went to school with a lot of kids who, like, their first language wasn't English, and they all got held back. I was like, damn, it's fucking like, why you? I was like,
y'all are ghetto.
No, literally, I was always like, why are you guys in a, like, we're all the same age, but you guys are in a younger year. Like, remember all the guys?
I know so many people off the top of my head that were in my grade or even a grade below me.
That were my age.
I know a girl that was a grade below me and a year above me.
I'm fucking dying. Is it Christine?
No.
Oh.
No, it was long ago. But it's because
your friend? Yeah. She's my age? No, she's a year younger.
She's a year older. Yeah, she's a year younger than you.
Oh, shit.
But her birthday's in December. Mm. And then there's those kids that, there was one friend of mine, ball meet, she would always be like, I'm younger than you guys. I shouldn't even be in this grade. Because in different places, like in Quebec, if you're born after like September, you're held back and you automatically stay. Which kind of makes sense very early on because like there are milestones like every single year. So if you're basically a whole year younger than everyone else in your grade, it kind of does make sense that you're like,
well, like I went to school,
held back.
So when I was in 8th grade, I was in school with a girl named Nalambri, and her birthday is December 31st.
Right.
And like
and your birthday is January 8th, like
January 8th, so we're literally 12 months apart. And like, but she was in my grade.
Yeah.
Like, and not gonna lie, it was lit having your birthday in January, because when we went to Cuba, I got to bring back alcohol for everyone. Like, I could cross over to Quebec with my actual shit.
Cuba, you can drink when you're not even 18.
Bring alcohol back.
Because I was gonna say, what's the drinking age there? 16, I guess. Then.
There is no Caribbean have. Like, when we were kids, I'm pretty sure we were drinking alcohol as children.
The first time, first of all, like, obviously the first time I got
you can't call CAS, it's too late. It's too late for that.
But like the first time I had like consistent alcohol, cremas is
as a kid. I was a child.
All the time.
It was fucking delicious. I'd give it to my kids. I don't give a fuck.
Just give them a little.
Yeah, mom used to like dip her finger in it. She would dip her finger, and mind you, it's very sweet, so don't come for us in the comments.
It's like a lighter than Bailey's. Even though it's crazy, because now that we've made it...
It's sweeter than Bailey's, but it's to 1,000,000 times stronger.
It's like that 90 proof alcohol. It's Why are we drinking that?
As the Haitians call it, we call it tafia.
Yeah.
Fucking full of fucking booze.
It's just part of the culture. Honestly, alcohol is the drug that's part of every culture. It's bad.
Anyways, all I know is we had great sleeps as kids.
Mom was like, I hate you guys so much.
Honestly, it wasn't even mom. It was probably Nenen.
Oh my god.
My godmother definitely was out here giving us alcohol as
pretty
kids.
Sure we had secondhand smoke.
Oh yeah,
in our lungs every day for like the
you
first 5 years of our lives.
If you saw our lungs at 5 years old, you'd probably think we were chain smokers.
Honestly, if you're a 90s baby or older,
you got the lungs of a smoker.
You lived through having like the smoking section in restaurants.
I remember smoking sections in restaurants.
Yeah.
I remember going to the Chinese buffet and then you could see the people smoking on one side and then us on the other side.
And then one day I literally just thought back to like, when did that end?
Yeah, I don't know when that ended, but yeah. And also, if you're from Quebec, it's only in the last like, I want to say like 8 years that they removed smoking from patios in Quebec.
It's like, what a time. But like, obviously for health reasons, great. Now people are addicted to their fucking vapes.
Vaping is
addicted.
I think vaping is gross. I don't care. I said what I said.
It tastes. Some of the flavors taste great. Shit,
no, it tastes like
I had my first shisha when I was like in elementary school because mom was great friends with one of her Lebanese friends.
I used to babysit for her, and she would pay me like $100 to watch her kids, and I
lucky you because I was freaking babysitting for fucking Bertha, and I was fucking making like $5 per babysitting session.
Yo, Haitians are so cheap. Yo, if as a kid, if you're babysitting for anyone, babysit for the Arabs. They're always paying. They pay nice.
God.
Oh yeah,
and she would come in. She would bring her little shisha thing,
and we were babies, bro. Like I was like
smoking up the tobacco. Only 10 years later, I realized that there was
tobacco,
full blown tobacco in there. There's so much tobacco in that.
It's like smoking like 100 cigarettes,
and
bro.
it's like, you tell a Lebanese person that their kid is smoking weed, they will lose their shit. Yeah. But cigarettes and tobacco. One of my best friends growing up, her dad would have literally Ziploc bags full of cigarettes in the deep freezer in the basement.
Cigarettes?
Yes.
Ooh. He smoked cigarettes?
Yes. Her mom and dad did.
I don't remember her mom.
Yeah.
I know Dan also did because he used to sell natives. Maybe we bleeped that out though, because I think
I'm bleeping all the moms, all the parents out.
I'm pretty sure selling natives is illegal, so yeah, bleep his name.
I mean, that's so long ago. I hope he's not doing that anymore, but yeah, I'll bleep him out.
I don't know if he's still doing that, but I'm gonna say he's
cigarettes are so old. Like, you're honestly, anyone that smokes cigarettes now, it's like,
you're too grown to be
with the times, man. Like,
I'm saying this like, well, some of my best friends don't smoke. All y'all fucking disgusting. They know exactly who they are. I tell them all the time.
I know people till this day, they get drunk and they're like, ugh, I want a cigarette. And I'm like, I hear that way too often.
One of my girlfriends hasn't smoked in forever. Every time she gets drunk, the only reason she doesn't smoke is because she knows her man's gonna get mad at her. So what she does is sometimes people will be outside smoking, she's like, just blow the smoke in my face. I'm like, you're actually disgusting.
But cigarette breath, like I remember I was seeing this guy and like he smoked, and yeah, that breath is
cigarette, like your whole body smells like you just stink like all the time.
Some people are really good though. They're really good at like smoking outside and stuff. But one thing a cigarette smoker is gonna do, they're gonna go outside on their break in minus 50 weather and they're smoking their damn cigarettes.
Not me. Bro, cigarettes, being a smoker, those fucking minus 40 days alone would make me quit. I'd never quit. I'd never smoke again.
It's the head rush. I can't. Like, y'all are crackheads.
Y'all are literal crackheads.
Like, I know y'all, like, you guys feel stress in another way.
Oh, 100%.
Because I see the stress relief when y'all just take that hit. You know that I'm like, damn, I wish cigarettes did that for me.
You know that meme of Ben Affleck that he's holding the cigarette and he's just like so done? Like, that's literally every single smoker when they finally have that first smoke. Like, after a while, they're just out there. Like, I remember when I was a waitress, so I was a waitress for a very short period of time at the marina in Elmer. And the only way you could get a break as a waitress is if you were a smoker. And I would literally go.
That would incentivize so many people to smoke.
Literally, that's a lot of people. Remember when we were at the Palace? One of the girls told us that that's how she started smoking, was because she fucking was a waitress and that was the only way to get a break. I literally would pretend like I was a smoker, and I would make the cook give me one of his smokes, and I would just hold it and like stand outside just to get a break.
I know
And
a lot
every
of
time my
employees
boss
would be
Every time the boss would come by, I'd pretend like I was smoking it, because I'm like, I've never smoked, never was interested. I don't want nothing to do with it, but like I need a break.
I swear to God, the 2 15-minute break that employers have is because of the smokers.
Oh, 100%.
I swear it.
100%.
Because I've heard so many employees be so annoyed with smokers and their breaks. And I've also heard that like all the smokers that I know, they were all like, yeah, it all happened in a social like setting. I was just chilling outside with my friends, and then they were smoking and they offered it to me, and I was like, sure. And the next thing you know, my addictive ass personality got hooked, and here I am.
I remember when all the kids in the neighborhood started smoking. We were like 10, 11, and they were like stealing, bleep his name, smokes, and they were smoking in the backyard.
It just looks so cool to smoke. And I know
never
smoking is
thought
one of the
smoking was
hardest
cool.
drugs to quit.
I never thought smoking was cool. I always thought it was cool.
I always thought it was cute. The first time I saw it was in Disney movies, freaking 101 Dalmatians with Cruella with her long ass thing. I thought, and she was skinny as hell too.
To be fair, I definitely thought Cruella Duvall was cool vibes with her like long ass cigarette and her like pencil.
Giving European, you know?
Yeah, that's true. The European vibe, like the classic.
Because it's actually kind of gross. The Canadian smokers are ratchet, but the European smokers,
but they're like,
it looks classy.
Yeah. They're like bitch sticks. They're super long. Yeah. All right.
I feel like that's when I noticed the difference, because sometimes I would like see people smoking from far, and it was like the difference from this is cigarette and this is weed.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's how you know.
It's funny because I never really cared to smoke, but I always I was afraid to smoke weed for a long time, but I always knew I wanted to smoke weed.
Yeah, I did. I knew at some point I was gonna get into something.
I remember when you used to hate on me for smoking weed.
Oh, I hated all drugs.
You used to call me a fucking all these names.
Because I went so long with just being around you guys smoking and not doing it. And I
oh my God,
like,
one time, we don't have a lot of time, but one time, one Christmas, we were at our, like, so every Christmas, my dad's side of the family does their, like, huge party, and we were out there for Christmas, and she came, and it was, like, me and, like, my oldest cousin and all the other cousins sitting in a car, hotboxing the car while Stacy and Muffin, the little dog that was like a tiny little Yorkie, were in the car, and poor Muffin was so high we had to open the door and let him outside.
I've gotten like a little contact high from like
you definitely
around so many of my friends.
She just sat in the car with us while we just hotboxed the car, and if anyone knows anything about Montreal, they all smoke backwoods. Like, that's all they smoke. Is just like, and it's just like 4 backwoods being circulated, and Stacy just
that's a lot,
smelling the air, just chilling.
And I'm sorry, like, I know there's like a hierarchy in smoking, but I never got this when so when you say a smoker, people think cigarettes, and a weed smoker will be the first to be like, I'm not a smoker.
I'm not a smoker. I ain't no damn smoker.
And I'm like, anyways.
But you are. It's like when you go to the hospital and they're like, do you smoke?
No. Oh my God. Honestly,
no, I most certainly do not.
I forgot when the last time I went, but I think that was like the first time I ever said yes. And I'm like,
I always say no. I mean, no, now that weed is legal, like, it asks if you smoke marijuana, and I'm not gonna lie, just because, like, obviously it's my doctor, they know.
Doctors, this is one thing that I have to say.
They know.
Doctors are here for you. Please tell them everything that they need to know.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
One time I went to the hospital because a friend of mine freaking was having alcohol poison or whatever. She was being stupid in the street because she was too drunk. And while we were there was another girl there that was like convulsing, I don't know. And they're like, did you take any drugs? And she's like, no. And then her blood work came back and they're like, hey, so we can see that you did a lot of different drugs. And if you would have told us this, we would have known how to treat you from the beginning.
It's literally a life or death matter, and I get.
First of all, if I'm gonna die of anything, it's not gonna be an OD, because I can't have my mom finding that out. Like, first of all, my mom already thinks we're crackheads because we smoke weed. So, like, for her to be like, "Are you like?" No, I don't. And I already feel like mom would just bring us back to life to kill us because how dare you?
How dare you let this thing kill you?
And how
first?
dare you like let people know that you were doing drugs? The fuck? She would like have a heart attack. I think that's like the biggest disgrace of them all.
Yeah, the drugs.
Also the homophobia in Caribbeans because our grandfather's out of control.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that next episode.
Shout out to all Caribbean people just trying to live their lives and their authentic truth. We're very sorry for
But that's
the
such
nonsense.
a like you understand. It's kind of like when I met my white boyfriend's grandma. He literally gave me a disclaimer before. He's just like, she has dementia. Like, I don't know what she's gonna say to you, Stacey, when she meets you. Like, I'm just telling you now. I don't know. She's never been racist around me, but I just want you to know, like,
She has dementia. She was born in the 1920s.
Exactly.
Please don't judge our family
like the
based on her.
Caribbeans that hate the gays.
Yeah.
When they
like,
probably have a son or daughter who's gay.
I feel like, and it's sad to say,
it is sad.
Being of Caribbean descent, just to spare my family, I feel like I would die with that secret.
Oh, same.
Like I'm not, but like I don't think it's fair that people would have to feel that way. Like it's just sad.
Just don't be gay in front of your grandparents. That's all.
Yeah, our grandfather's to be fair, disclaimer, our grandfather's 92 years old.
Exactly.
So like, you know, that shit's ingrained.
You can't change.
He's not gonna change. Like he's already changed in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
So like you gotta take him as he is. So like I do understand that like a lady who's going through dementia and is in her 90s might revert to say some racist things. She might not have felt that way anymore, but she probably did in the early 1930s.
I mean, good for her she didn't, because if she had, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, that's all.
Yo, you're good. You're under arrest, bro. What the?
I'm kidding. She was such a sweet girl, such a sweet lady. Well, thank you guys.
Oh my God, you're
for watching
savage.
this. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcast at Spicy Tales Podcast.
Thanks for watching. You're savage.